Boom, record that. I think we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, come on in. Welcome to the final day of the Lacrosse Goalie Summit 4. It's Friday, June 11th. We're going to close it out strong today. 5 sessions. We're going strong with 5 sessions. It's going to be awesome. I'm super excited. Who's here? Put it in the chat. Let me know who's here. As people are coming on in, let me know your age, where you're from, and by all means, put it to panelists and attendees. You got to change the Zoom chat. Otherwise, just me and Mr. Wanderful will see it. With that said, I'm going to do a little housekeeping, but before I do, Mr. Wanderful, Tommy Bruno, how are we doing today?
How we doing, guys?
Yeah, there he is. Everyone say hello to the Wanderful. I start calling you the Wanderful, you know how like Mr. Wonderful, sometimes they just call him Wonderful.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
I'll roll with it.
I roll with it, right? Well, I'm down here in Argentina. So in Argentina, it might be a Senor Wonderful.
Senor Wonderful.
Senor Wonderful. Awesome. Mike says, what up? Levittown, New York here.
Woo-woo.
In the house.
Oh.
Guys, we're going to have fun. Guys and girls, I should say. We're going to have fun on this one. What we're going to do is just Tommy's going to string up ahead and answer questions while he does it. And hang on, I switched to the full view. Get a shot of that head. Get a shot of that head. Hold that baby up. The golden boy.
There you go, guys.
The golden boy. One of you on this call is going to win that thing. It's going to be awesome. We're going to do the drawing at the end. You got to be present to win. You got to be present to win. So hang around to the end. Let me ask this in the chat. Does anybody already have a stick strung up by Mr. Wonderful? Let me hear it in the chat. Let me hear it in the chat.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Jeff Cantlin's got 2. Andy, Mia's got none. So hopefully Mia would. A lot of people wish they did. All right. Awesome stuff. So before we get started, let me do a little housekeeping. Remember, final day of the session. We got 5 sessions today. We're going to be giving away, in addition to the stick that Tommy strings up, we're going to be giving away 2 Lax Goalie Shields, protective device. We'll do that at the end. You got to be present to win. If you guys take a photo, little selfie of yourself watching the summit and tag at Lax Goalie Rat on Instagram, or email that to help@laxgoalierat.com. 2 ways to do that. You'll be entered into a daily drawing, and we're going to give away at the end of today a Mark 2G goalie head. All right. So again, tag at Lax Goalie Rat. You can do multiple entries of that one per day. Each time you do the picture or do the picture of your notes, you'll be entered. And then we got the bingo card. All right, we got a bingo card. Lots of stuff going on. The bingo card giveaways are going to be at the very end. So a lot of people are asking, when are those giveaways? After the summit, I'll do all those drawings of your winning bingo cards. What else? Max from Team Lax Goalie Rat is helping in the chat. Say hello to Max. Say hello to Max. Max is awesome. Hey, Max, how we doing today?
What's up, Max?
Yeah, I think we're doing good. Tommy, how you feeling, man? How you feeling? You ready to string up ahead here?
Doing great, baby. It's Friday, big Friday energy, man. Sun's out where I'm out, down by the beach. Let's go, baby. Let's get this wand strung up and get in one of your guys' hands.
I love it. All right, so it's pretty much just a Q&A. There's a Q&A box. Yeah, there's a Q&A box in Zoom. So if you guys have questions, please throw them in the Q&A box. If not, we're pretty much just hanging out. Watching Tommy string up the golden boy. Where'd you get this thing, by the way?
Great question, by the way. This is actually given to me by one of the guys here who had a couple of his son's heads strung up here on Long Island. He had a gold head laying around, and he said, "Hey, listen, man, do what you want with this." He's pretty heavily affiliated with the police department around here. He actually running a game for the police department around here. Show support for those guys. I'll post it on my story later. I've been posting it a little bit. But he said, "Hey, man, this is for you, and do what you do. Put it in some kid's hand that needs it, and that's what we're going to do, man. We're going to string this thing up, and we're going to give it out. And big thank you to you, Larry, and all the cops out there, the boys and girls that are watching our backs, of course."
Love it. Yeah. Big up. All the, I got deep found respect for all the service industry, Army, Navy, Air Force, all those guys, but also firemen, policemen. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. We got the questions flowing in, Tommy. We ready to start answering them?
Hey, let's go.
I'll read them off. I'll read them off. Yeah.
I'll tell you what mesh I'm going to use for you today. All right. We got a Mesh Dynasty 12D rhombus right here. We're really growing fond of this stuff, and we're going to deck it out in some red, white, and blue trim. So let's get going, man. Fire away. I'll get going.
I love it. Jesus wants to know, what's the most difficult head you've ever strung?
Most difficult head I've ever strung. Probably going to be the Maverick base. All right. It's really tough to get a good channel in there, but through trial and error, I found a few patterns that work, but that's always a tough one to get a good channel on, the Maverick base. I find that the Eclipse 2s and the Nemesises with ample holes in the side, they allow you a lot more to work with.
Yeah, that Maverick base has a really weird shape, right? I mean, not weird, I should say. Weird's kind of a interesting word. It's just unique. It's unique. It's kind of unlike any other, and that's really kind of wide at the bottom, right? Which you don't see in a lot of heads.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Eric B, what is your favorite mesh to work with?
My favorite mesh to work with right now, man, I love using the Mesh Dynasty's products. They have very consistent stuff. The hard mesh is really good stuff. The soft mesh breaks in really well. They do tighten some areas. It'll always have a nice smooth release. But I got to tell you, I'm growing really fond of this. Their 12D rhombus, the stuff I'm stringing up right now, has really good rigidity to it. And it really maintains its structure over time. Allows for really smooth outlets too if you do the top half of the stick correctly.
Love it. Love it. Braden says, what's your thoughts on quad sidewalls?
Quad sidewalls. All right. Does that mean when you're like kind of doubling up on the set and the same sidewall in the same hole? Because I'll be straight with you, man. I've been stringing sticks since I'm like 10 years old. People are always asking for patterns. I'm like, dude, I don't even know the names of some of these knots, man. I started when I was young, and I kind of just kept it moving and did the knots. Never really knew the names behind them. But if you're talking about doubling up in between the holes, I don't know. I see some guys doing it sometimes, and I've always asked myself what the benefit is myself. To me, if you do the knot right the first time, it should be okay. There's usually never a need to do 2 knots, But, it may lock it down a little bit better. I always thought it might put a little more stress on the plastic in between that piece. And, obviously we're seeing shots all the time. You want as little stress as possible, but, you want tension in all your strings in the right areas. But it's a good question, man. I can't give you a definitive answer. I always thought it was a little more of a cosmetic thing. To me, I want as least amount of weight on the stick as possible. Goalies were freaking crazy, so as light as possible. But yeah, that's me, man. I can't give you a straight answer on it. It's a great question.
All good. Yeah, it's one of those like unicorns of goalie stringing. You just don't really, with the mesh and the sticks that we have today, like you don't really see it all that much. So, I don't know if you told your story on the last session that we did. By the way, who attended that last session in the previous goalie summit that Tommy did? Put that in the chat if you can. I'd love to see who attended that one. A bunch of folks did. Max, Tony.
Sure wouldn't.
Yeah. Brad Gigliotti. What's up, Brad?
Hey,
Devin.
what's up, Brad?
A lot of people. Anyway, so yeah, and maybe just tell a few minutes about your story, where you played, why you're so passionate about stringing wands.
Well, I'm a Long Island guy. Grew up playing for Levittown. A lot of good talent, a lot of good history. Scotty Rogers was actually, I took over as a freshman. As soon as he left and went to Notre Dame. That's the guy who kind of mentored me. Shout out to Scotty Rogers, man, the GOAT. But yeah, I was a Levittown guy. I was played since I was in like 2nd grade. My brother, he was also a goalie. He played for Albany and Stony Brook, and he one day just kind of put the stick in my hand, and then he said, you got to learn how to string it yourself. And he knew how to do it. He kind of got me going. And then I was just like always stringing, always practicing. So if you want the real secret on how to learn how to string sticks, just like anything else in life, it's repetition and practice and just putting the time in. But it's cool when you string your own stick, you get to kind of learn how it performs afterwards, what you could do to tweak it. But other than that, I moved on to Manhattan College for a year. I really, really wanted to play Division I ball out of college, but I found that there was a much better situation for me back home at Division II school, Malloy. After my 2nd year, I was able to get a full ride playing Division II ball. But, you learn a lot bouncing around from different programs, and certainly strung a lot of sticks, that's for sure. And I played college, mostly at Malloy College, finished up there, I want to say 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And then I actually ran a Lacrosse Unlimited out in California for 3 years in LA, Westlake Village. That was pretty fun. Probably some guys on here that know me from there. Shout out to all those guys too. All the guys I used to coach for the LA Mavs and Agora High School, Westlake Village, Thousand Oaks. Man, I miss all you guys a lot. So shout out to anyone that's on the call. That's here. I should be out there this summer coaching you guys again, maybe. But yeah, that's me, man. Here I am. Now I live down by the beach, back down in Long Island. But, you can take the boy out of the island. You can never take the island out of the boy. I'll tell you that much.
I love it. I love it. I see a couple comments in the chat about like adjusting the camera. This is not a tutorial, just to kind of be clear. But if you could give us some shots every once in a while.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I get it done in the time frame. I'll try to get in here as much as I can. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, just to be clear, it's not, it's the idea is not that you walk away from this session knowing how to string sticks like Tommy. I have a couple tutorials on my site. Every once in a while, maybe one of these days we'll talk Tommy into doing a tutorial. But I was chatting with him the other day, and it's like he said, it's one of those learned things. So it's tough to teach. How do you teach someone to get the right amount of tension?
Yeah, it's a nightmare. I try to level with guys as much as I can, and that's why I post every angle. Guys, I'm not here to be like I got the secret recipe here. Really, the secret recipe is just knowing where to put the tension, knowing how to, properly plan for, things that are going to happen. It's funny, Apple, if you have Apple products, they have what's called planned obsolescence. They make something and they know they're going to fix it in the future. So they know you're going to come back to them. What I try to do is when I string a stick is I try to account for the full break-in. I've been playing the sport in the position for about 20 years. I know what happens when you don't account in certain areas for a certain amount of tension and what can go wrong. So when I put a stick in your hand, it's game ready, it's ready to go, and it should, without a doubt, last one whole season, if not two. Yeah, man, I've just kind of been around the block as far as that stuff. You want something that's, not going to require a ton of maintenance, because at the end of the day, man, you can get a brand new stick as a goalie, and after one or two warm-ups, it's a totally different stick. And that's a freaking nightmare, all right? Because you may be like, oh, this is sick. Then you go get ripped on by your friend and it's bagging out, lipping out. And you're like, yeah, I just paid money to have this done and now it's crap, So you just want something that's going to, hold up the test of time. That's why when I'm doing this stuff in certain areas, I'm really making sure to put in a lot of tension.
Love it. Love it. Kind of leads into a question from Eric B. How often should you restring a goalie head?
It's a great question, man. So I would say, listen, man, if you're a player, if you're really getting out there, you're playing, you're practicing like 5 days a week, you're seeing probably 1 or 2 games a week, you got to figure you're probably seeing between warm-ups and a day of practice, probably between 100 to 150 shots. Then a game and warm-ups, you're seeing probably, probably another 50, 60 shots between that day. Stick goes through a lot of wear and tear. It's not just the normal line drills where you're catching passes all day. But that being said, you should have a stick that at least lasts the season, all right? But you might be playing a lot. I have guys on here that they see like probably 1,000 shots a week. They're playing every day. They're getting in sessions. And every once in a while, a guy will have a blowout. I'll just be like, all right, man, send it back. Take care of you, I'll stand by too, guys. If you have a blowout within like a couple months of the stick being strung, just send that back, man. I'll help you out with everything. I'll do it all. I'll take care of it for you. But it should be lasting at least the season, But if you're a player, if you're getting after it, maybe have a couple restring, at least one restring before a season.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. I mean, that's what I love about the Mr. Wanderful wands is, you put your magic touch on it, but you also, it's got your name on it. So you stand by your work, which is awesome. Like you said, if you got a Mr. Wanderful wand, it blows out and, the first couple of times using it, like send it back, you replace it. That's awesome. Let's see. Wyatt comes in with the tough hitting question here. Favorite band / music genre?
Oof, man. So I've been through it all, bro. I'm a 90s baby, man. I saw all the alternative. We got the Creeds. We got the Taking Back Sundays, the Brand News. But, I ain't no scrub. I was a big fan of 50 back in the day. Lloyd Banks, G Unit, all those guys, Eminem. That's what I was listening to before games, I mean, you can't not listen to Eminem and those guys and get jacked up. But hey, man, I mean, I'm different point in my life now. I'm like, living down by the beach, listening to a lot of, some country, a little Mumford and Sons here and there, just mellow stuff. But I also during the day I have a pretty big job home remodeling. Usually all around the island, giving estimates. Got to get myself jacked up, ready to go. Kind of a sales position, but favorite music, man, everything, anything. Depends on the mood, Depends on the mood. Good music, man, could change your whole mood on your whole day. So there's one thing to take away from this. Definitely listen to music. Make sure it's good music.
Yeah. What do you put on when you're stringing? You put on some rock, or are you more laid back? Like, what do you listen to when you're stringing up a one?
What is that? Yeah, I listened to this band called AO. This guy called Quinn 92, and he does a couple collaborations with this band called AOK. They're pretty cool. Usually some, maybe, I don't want to say like EDM, but some chill music, some like just something you can vibe out to, get going. I usually throw the AirPods in, get jamming. Sometimes some classic rock. All depends on the mood.
Love it. Goldilocks 21 says, how tight of a channel do you put in?
It's a great question, man. So listen, you never want to put it too tight of a channel where the ball's not coming out. But I'm a firm believer in having a good channel and a stick. I think it makes a huge difference on ball control. And something I even touched upon last time when we were stringing is a lot of guys like to use U's and V's in their stick, sometimes to direct the way the ball comes out. But it also helps sometimes with rebound control. It'll hug that V or it'll hug that U. Now, if you string a stick properly, and there's a lot of guys on Instagram that even do a good job at it, I see. If you string a stick properly with the right tension in the right areas, you'll actually see, man, this channel is actually starting to form itself. All right. Now, of course, I'm accounting for a quick, a good break in. So I'm tightening this channel as I go. And as I break it in, you'll probably see the channel when I'm all done, all finished. But yeah, man, I like a nice tight channel in there. It really helps out for rebound control. And for guys that are active outside the cage, maybe doing some toe drags or some fakes, sometimes you want that stick to perform like an attack stick. Now, there's a fine line between having good ball control in there, too much whip and all that. And that's, that's where I tell guys, this is such an important stick. Have it done the right way. Have your goalie sticks done the right way. I mean, I put a very, very good balance of, if you have my stick strung, you could throw a full-on fake, but at the same time, you could zip an outlet 50 yards down the field. And, that's just something that only guys and girls know that if I have my stick strung. That's the way they work. That's the way I wanted them to work. I was kind of a coast-to-coast guy. All evidence to the contrary right now. But I loved getting out of the cage and, getting up and down the field. It made the position so much more fun to me. My coaches didn't always love it, but I like doing it. So I like to have a stick that performs well, not only inside the crease, but outside the crease.
Love it. Awesome. Thank you guys for putting all the questions in the Q&A box. If you see a question that you like, you can upvote it, you can like it, and then we'll make sure to get to that one. It kind of floats to the top when you do that. So upvote any question you see that, we want to make sure we get answered, because we got 36 questions at the moment. I don't know if we'll get to all of them, but Shannon Novak, who, by the way, is closing us out today with a session called Getting Better by Yourself. So if you are a goalie who wants to learn how to get better by yourself, attend that one tonight. She says, what's the weirdest goalie stringing request you've ever gotten? Have you ever gotten a request and you're like, all right, I'll do it, but I don't know?
It's a good question, Shannon. I've had a lot of different sales positions. I used to sell like snowboards. I used to get, when I worked at the lacrosse store, they'd be like, hey, do you have any sticks for lefties? And I'd be like, is this like a real question? But I've had some, I can't really think off the top of my head, like a really strange request. Like sometimes I've had, hey, can you dye my mesh? Can you do stuff like that? But listen, man, if you want it, I'll do it, and I'll make sure it performs well. All right. 17 diamond with with the inside, dip sidewall, double dip sidewall. That's what you want, I'll do it. I always advise what's going to yield the best performance. Obviously, that's the biggest thing at the end of the day. I mean, sometimes people are just set on like, hey, I need to have 2 U's in my stick, or I need to have 3 straights. I'm like, all right, well, how do you like it to throw? And then I'll be like, well, it's tough to do that combination. If you're just looking for cosmetics, I'll make it happen, but this might be the best situation for you. And then we'll work together as a team to see what the best possible option is. But as far as crazy things, I haven't gotten too many crazy requests. I mean, maybe you have. I don't know. All
right. No, I mean, definitely not me. I don't string up wands, so I haven't seen them. But just, I don't know. Yeah, haven't heard of it. We'll go on to the next one. Tom says, what is the difference in the rules for shooters between boys and girls goalie heads?
As far as I'm concerned, growing up, goalies were always untouched by the game. No matter what shooting string or pocket depth, there was never any rule change. I don't think there is. I think you could still have, whatever shooters you want in your stick. I could be wrong. I don't actually know for sure. If someone does know the definitive answer on that and I'm wrong right now, please let me know.
Yeah, I don't, is he talking about if you're talking about the shooting strings, like, are there any rules for goalie shooting strings of like things you cannot do?
No, I know years back when I was in college, they said no more use, and people lost their minds, but we got used to it, and the game is where it's at now. But
in the attack heads you're talking about.
Yeah. And attack heads, field heads. But as far as goalies, we were always untouched by the rules, which always kind of felt cool.
I know in the women's game, the CL18 is not legal. The CL18 is not legal in the women's game, and I think it just has to do with the dimensions of the head. So there's some differences there. STX Eclipse 2, which I have over my right shoulder here, that one is legal for women and men as well. So yeah, I think that does it for that one. Riley says, is it better to string your own stick or pay somebody?
It's a good question, Riley. I mean, hey man, of course I want to help you out. What I want to tell you is just have someone experienced string your stick, man. If you've got a backup stick that you want to get started on, and you want to learn how to string, I always encourage that, man. I even sometimes say, hey, need a couple extra strings. Guys say, hey, listen, I have some old mesh I'm trying to learn. Could you throw in a couple extra strings for me? Hey, man, sometimes I'll throw in a few extra strings. I'm always going to perpetuate growing the game. And of course, you learn how to string your own stick is an important part of the position. But if you don't have someone that can do that for you and you're relying on your starter stick to be done, don't do that. This is your weapon, man. This is your wand. This is your everything. This is your meal ticket on the field. This is the last thing that should be compromised. This is the only thing that the ball touches all game. You can have the best shaft, the best gloves, the best helmet in the world, best cleats. The ball's only touching one thing. The ball's only leaving one thing, and that's the mesh and the string job that's inside your stick.
Yep. Well said. Kevin says, what are the pros and cons over semi-hard versus semi-soft mesh?
Great question. So semi-hard mesh traditionally helps out with a nice smooth outlet. All right. Your semi-soft mesh will usually help out with ball control and usually rebound control. That being said, there are ways to string both sticks and break in both sticks that at the end of the day will both perform the exact same way. I say that because, listen, if you're better with the tension up top on a soft mesh and over you account for that break-in factor, you'll always have a nice smooth release, especially if you've worked the shooter pattern too. Now with a hard mesh, there's certain areas you might want to bag it and bunch it to maybe allow for a bigger pocket. But that hard mesh will always give you a nice smooth release over time. The pocket will maintain that structural integrity and will always yield smooth outlets. If strung properly, both still have to be strung properly, of course.
Awesome. Mac, do you think ECD, East Coast Dives, should make a goalie stick?
Oh, who says they aren't?
Now, do they contact you? Do you got some inside info here? We can drop on the summit?
Nah, listen, guys, I don't know. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I know they got some cool stuff being developed right now. And, people starting to pay attention to the goalies, man. That's what we're here for. That's what I'm here for. Proper string jobs. There's a funny guy on Instagram. I think it's JM Strings. He's always posting like goalies or players too and everything. And it's true, man. You guys should have good equipment, good string jobs, everything good too.
Yeah, love it. By the way, that stick, we were talking about guys versus girls legality. The stick you're stringing up right now, totally good for girls, yeah?
Oh, yeah, Nemesis. Yeah, Nemesis and Eclipse 2s. These are all good to go for both genders.
Yep. Colin wants to know your favorite PLL team.
Oof, man, it's a good question. So I got a bunch of buddies that are actually still playing in the league, and I grew up playing with a lot of those guys. But, shout out to, again, my man Scotty Rogers, who was on the Atlas. And, of course, I string John Concannon sticks. So I'm a big Atlas guy, but I also got a lot of buddies on the Archers. Shout out to my man Willie Mann. He's tearing it up right now. Also know that guy, Dominique Alexander. I know he actually netted like the first goal, I think. Yeah, a lot of guys still playing out there that I know. I have no clear-cut favorites. I kind of just, root for the guys that I want to see doing well out there. But, obviously want to see John Kincannon, RJ, Reed Junkin. He's playing for the Whips. I string his stick too. I string a couple of the other guys' sticks. And, of course, I want to see those guys performing well. I want to see how those sticks are making out for them, fair and well. Did a couple of DeLuca sticks last year. Yeah, man, bunch of guys I string for. So I'm just a fan of the freaking sport. It's nice to see a game that's got such high exposure now.
Awesome. I know Sean Scanone's from Long Island. Do you know him at all?
Yeah, no, I don't know him personally, but the guy is a freaking beast. I love watching him play. It's always nice seeing the big guy got after it. Always got to have love for the big guy.
That's right.
And he's killing it. It's nice to see that.
That's right. Alea says, is it okay to play with a smaller pocket?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. There's a big misconception that sometimes people think you need to have a big pocket in order to retain rebounds. A lot of rebound control is all about footwork, all about that gather step, all about bringing that back leg with you and controlling that rebound, not leaving yourself vulnerable and exposed. But listen, of course, a bigger pocket will always help you out with that. But the downfalls is sometimes when you bag out that pocket over a while, over all those shots that takes, sometimes a little harder to get out of your stick. Sometimes it hooks. A shallow pocket will, normally yield a smoother outlet. But there's always a happy medium right here. I always like to put a nice pocket in there, at least 2 to 3 balls deep. But outlets are huge to me. Clearing is huge. As a goalie, you should be clearing the ball 110% of the time. It's one of the most important parts of the game as a goalie is clearing. So you got to have a very high responsive stick when it comes to outlets, and you should never have to think about it. It should just be coming right out, smooth outlet. You shouldn't be dragging it back down to your ankles, accounting for unnecessary whip and hook.
Awesome. Yep. Love it. Evan wants to know, so why would somebody choose hard mesh or soft mesh for a goalie stick?
Why would somebody choose hard mesh? I guess they would want to choose hard mesh because they would want a smoother outlet. Maybe want to feel that ball a little less going through the pocket. Maybe they're just partial to hard mesh. I always liked semi-hard mesh when I was growing up because I broke in the crap out of it. I made sure it was like basically a hybrid of semi-hard and semi-soft. I always found that when I did that with the semi-soft, I pulverized the mesh, and then it was kind of served its shelf life too fast. But I like both kind of, I like both. I definitely like using a little bit of both. Always trying new things. You never know what you like until you try it. So.
Awesome. Matt says, what part of stringing is the most important to form a good channel versus a big bag?
Tension. Great question. Tension in the right areas, the right knots in the right areas, the right diamonds in the right holes. It takes practice, man. It takes a lot of experience to kind of know this stuff. And, of course, it's a little bit second nature to me. It kind of has to be, man. I get 10 to 20 boxes a day. Working on all cylinders lately. And for those of you who have been a little extra patient with me lately, I very much appreciate that too. It's been getting a little crazy. I'm sure after this summer, it's going to get very crazy.
Good. I also reach out to Mr. Wanderful. I need to step away just for 1 second. Can you see the questions, Tommy?
Sure. I'll pull it up.
Yeah. If you could just keep going through those questions, I'll be back in just 2 seconds. Sorry about that, guys.
No problem. Hey guys, just while we're touching on that topic, a lot of you guys been reaching out, and I think you noticed there's something wrong with my inbox. I'm not able to accept requests or whatnot. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm in the process of making a website right now, and I really appreciate all the patience, guys. First of all, you guys are the best for sticking with me this long, trusting me with your sticks and all that. And I try to have the best possible customer support I can. But it seems like I'm not getting a lot of messages. So I'm gonna again post my email today on my story. And some of the messages are even coming in different inboxes right now. So, website's well underway. Gonna fix these problems sooner than later. But I appreciate all the patience, guys. And just bear with me a little bit more. But let's see what kind of questions we got going on here in the chat. So, okay. How do you string a goalie have the least amount of whip? Well, tension at the top is always very important. And as you can see, even as I kind of work my way down this head, the channel's kind of already in the head from the tension that I made right there. So as I break it in, it'll kind of loosen it up. I'll be able to counteract stuff in the shooters. But this head's really coming together pretty nice, man. It really is. And
I'm back.
Oh, there it is.
I'm back. I'm back. What did you do? Which question did you do, Sean? Shano?
The most recent, Cameron Fitzgerald, and then I guess Michelle's just came in.
Okay. M. Way says, is stringing different by age and playing level?
It's a good question. So listen, if a guy's in college and he's telling me, hey, I want a bag in my stick, I'm okay if it has a little bit of whip in it. That's what I'm going to give that dude. Maybe he's a goalie out there that's doing splits and lunges and getting all around the cage, and he's got a different style. He needs that little extra rebound control. Then of course, we'll cater to his style. But if I have someone who's telling me, this is my son or daughter, they're 10 years old, they're just starting out, I'm probably not putting in a pocket that's 2 to 3 balls deep right there. I don't think that guy is going to be seeing 80-mile-per-hour shots just yet, or girl. So maybe make that pocket a little shallower, maybe guide them to a semi-hard mesh. So it's really, really smooth with his outlet starting up, and he's not having, he or her is not having a tough time just throwing the ball. That's always, you want to make that sure it's really easy. But at the same time, you don't want to be saving the ball with a tennis racket. So yeah, there is a happy medium. You definitely want to, that's why I'll talk with people. I'll let, kind of gather as much information as I can via inbox. And I'll encourage people to leave notes inside the box. Let me know a little bit more so I can cater to you guys.
Love it. Love it. Make sure you guys are following Mr. Wanderful on Instagram. If you like goalie heads, that's the spot to be. I can't wait. When a new Mr. Wonderful head pops up into my feed, I'm like, whoo, baby, that's a nice one. All right. We answered that one. Olivia says she lives in a small town where nobody knows how to string heads. What should she do? I would contact Mr. Wonderful on Instagram. What's the best way? DMs on Instagram?
Yeah, DMs right now. And as I was just telling the guys, I'm having a little trouble, obviously. So I'm going to post my email address on my story. For anyone that's listening right now, maybe I'll just type it in the chat right now if I can. It's just Tommy Bruno 515@gmail.com.
We got Max. He'll type that in for you. You focus on stringing heads. Yeah. Tommy Bruno 515. Is that the area code?
515. It's actually my birthday, May 15th.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Let's see. Michelle says, for you to string a goalie head, do you have the heads to choose from, or do we send you the head?
So I got to be honest with you, I've been reaching out to some manufacturers. Haven't gotten some open-ended questions here, guys. I'm trying to provide heads for you guys. I am trying to do that. Any big name manufacturers are out there that are listening to this. I'm trying to get some heads in here, guys. I'm trying to provide a one-stop shop for you. I, of course, have to get those heads in bulk. All right. So, but I'm trying to work on it right now, and I'm trying to provide that for you guys. So when you call me, you don't have to send me your head. You don't have to order a new head, because sometimes the fact of the matter is you're going to get a new head built up from scratch. You want to order it. So what I'll tell most people is, hey, save yourself the money on the shipping. Just send it directly to me, and I'll get it back to you. You could save a little bit money more on that. But yeah, I am trying to, I'm trying to get that sorted out for you guys. I really am trying to be a one-stop shop for you.
That would be awesome. Especially if you can get them at a discount, and then people can just say, I want STX Eclipse 2. Do you know we should build for you? This idea is just coming for me right here. It'd be this Mr. Wonderful stick customizer, and then they could pick the head. They could pick all the strings.
I got some ideas.
They hit order. Right now. They hit order, and boom! 2 weeks later, they're throwing dimes, stinging corners on the run with the goalie head. I love it. There was one question in the chat. It didn't come through in the Q&A, but people are like, oh, Coach Casey says, can you touch on how becoming a junior Mr. Wonderful can help a young player increase their lax IQ, leadership level with their own program, and get back to the sport while earning some money?
Well, yeah, man. I just start doing it. Just get going. Get yourself a few stringing supplies. Get yourself a couple pieces of mesh. Invest in yourself. Listen, guys, I started this I started this page, believe it or not. I was, like I told you, I was out west. I was doing a job. I had to come home to take care of a family member who was sick. And unfortunately, I couldn't work for a long period of time because of that. Just kind of, excuse my French, just kind of for shits and gigs. Since I was stringing sticks for the last 3 years in California, I said, I'm just going to start up a page. Send me $10 in the materials and I'll string your head. And I just kind of started posting stuff, and I kind of just kept stringing, and I kind of just went with it, guys. And guys, that's it. Just keep yourself going, keep yourself busy, string, showcase your skills. If you string up something nice, how's anyone going to know about it? Post it, show us, let's go. I love when guys tag me on Instagram and they show me their work. It's like, it's really cool because you know what? Every guy out there that's big right now doing anything was a beginner at one point. All right. And guys, I started this when I was 27 years old. Like most of you guys out there probably have more Instagram followers than, any of us. All right. You already have your base, start posting some of your work. And if you get bites, keep it going. And guys, that's it, man. Just stay with it. If you're really serious about it and you want to make a little something out of this, put out a quality product and, keep working on it. And that's it.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. I mean, that's such a good piece of advice, not just for stick stringers, just like if you're doing this, content if you're in the industry of creating like a product, you've got to just iterate and you've got to put stuff out there. And you know what? Like the first 5, 10, I don't know, you can correct me, Tom, but probably when you're starting out, like the first couple ones you do are not going to be good. I remember the first couple blog posts I did, not good. First couple podcasts I did, not that good. And then, now I'm on episode 100, blog post 200, pretty good.
Couldn't have said it better yourself, man. You got to get started somewhere. So when you look back, you can say, oh man, I can't believe that's how I used to do it. I corrected all those mistakes, But just, yeah, guys, just like you see right now, stringing ahead right now, this time, effort, 30, maybe 40 minutes. It's like you go through all this trouble of making something really nice, post it, show us, tag me in it. Let me repost you. This is your work. This is your time and effort. This is your craftsmanship. How is anyone going to know that if you're not posting it? All right. So if you're serious about this, you want to monetize this, go ahead and do it. Start yourself something up, man. Post that thing.
Yeah. Yeah, love it. Great advice. So Amanda says, what do you suggest for youth programs that have a bunch of junky sticks for their goalies? What is the easiest way to make sticks function well for new players when they can't be restrung?
All right. Well, if they can't be restrung, I mean, hell, you need.
Well, I would question that. I'd question that. Why can't they be restrung?
Well, I mean, if they're just structurally cracked and everything, that's what I thought you were meaning. But listen, if the stick is still structurally sound and the plastic is not, 20, 30 years old, like it's going to break on the first shot, guys, I can work with anything. You guys, most of you guys who follow me see me posting Goal Masters and Maverick bases. And, not that those are, crappy heads. They're just not as efficient, not as high end as some of the other more, higher spec heads. But guys, I can make a channel in any freaking head. Just, everything set aside, cutting straight down to the chase, whatever you give me, that thing is going to perform well. All right. If you have and guys, if we're talking about youth programs here and helping out at a cause like that, just send me the stuff and I promise I will help you out. And with stuff like that, I am always here to help. I am never here to put a price tag on stuff like that. If someone hits me up as an athletic director or someone running a camp or a rec and says, hey, I got like 10, 15, 20 heads, I'm not charging the price point that I normally charge you, all right? Especially if it's going to go to kids that are trying to learn the sport or you're trying to build something, you're trying to grow a program. I'm always here to help with that. I'll always be reasonable with you. So listen, don't bust your butt trying to sew it together with Timberland string, boot strings and old, cord that you have in your house. Send it to me. I'll take care of you.
Awesome. Love it. Love it. Love it. Kyle French, what do you find works best for the shooting strings? He's seen some big U's straight across. What's your thoughts on the shooters?
All preference. Again, definitely all preference. Some guys are just set on having a certain pattern, and that's cool. We are goalies. We are weird. There's nothing wrong with that. Whatever you're comfortable with. Listen, like I said, guys, I'm stringing the channel into that stick regardless. All right. You're always going to have that channel unless requested not to have it. And by the way, this is pretty much the finished product right here. I did a little red, white, and blue trim for you guys. All right. But Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, so I got off tangent. What was the question right there? I just wanted to show you the thing.
Shooters, the shooters.
The shooters, yeah. So I'm stringing the channel in there, man. Straights, they're good all day for me, especially if you're requesting a channel in there. If you're like, hey, I like U's, I'm probably going to be a little less aggressive on that tight channel, because those U's, to a certain degree, will catch that ball, will form to the pocket, will over time sometimes catch that ball on a hook. All right, so if you go throw a touch pass right there, the pocket might bag in a certain way and catch that hook, whereas two straights a little higher up lets the ball kind of smoothly exit that pocket the right way.
Nice. Kelsey asked an interesting question. So what are the different colors for, and how do they help?
Different colors.
Yeah, different colors of mesh, different colors of shooters.
Oh, as far as performance was, not really going to help you out any less or more than the other. Now, I know when you deal with some colored strings, they are made of a little bit more of a pastel-y type feel. I believe in cotton strings, the white cotton that you get right off the roll. Sometimes those colored strings, you have to roll them. I do the rolled shooters with those because they kind of bag and bunch, and they just don't feel right with the ball coming out always. Not Hero strings, String King, like Hero strings, I know they put out like a good cotton color. I don't get those off the roll. So I always say go with a quality product. I mean, I could usually make it work no matter what at the end of the day, just a little bit different in the pattern. But I just prefer the way, the smooth cotton feels, how the ball rolls off. That's what I grew up playing with. That's what I think is the most responsive.
Interesting. I thought you were going to say there, performance wise, there's no difference. The colors are just all about design, but yeah, the colored shooters do have a little bit of
different brands. Yeah, there's some different brands that the material is a little different. Hero and String King, like they'll all put a cotton. They put a cotton out. You can get what color you want in a quality cotton. Sometimes there's a little harder of a rigid or a material on some colored strings, and doesn't always yield the best performance.
All right. Sean, Shawneo, any stringing differences when you twist up for a professional versus a high school versus a youth? It's a good question.
It's a great question, man. That's a great question, but absolutely not. Believe it or not, man, the pattern that I use for John Kincannon is some of the same patterns I use for 10th and 11th graders, some even younger guys that are experienced. Like I said, even in the last one, you guys should have quality, high responsive sticks. And if you could learn to use that from a young age, then not only are you going to be a player, but you're going to be a player real young. All right. You're able to elevate your game, expedite your, game faster. All right. I believe in, putting the Cadillac, putting the Tesla in your hand early, if you can handle it. Now, if you're like 8 years old, just starting out, like we said before, a little different, but you're playing middle school ball, you're a little bit of a player, you're a high school guy, I'm gonna give you something. And if you text me back in a week and say, oh, this is a little different than I'm used to, I'll be like, go take it to the wall for an hour and get back to me. If you don't like it, send it back and I'll take care of it for free. Most of the time they go, yo, this thing is a freaking wand. Like, it handles really well. I'm used to it now. This is what it should be.
Awesome. Donovan says, do you have any tutorials? I think we asked this question a lot last time. Everyone wants to learn to be the junior Mr. Wanderful. You didn't last time. Any progress on that?
My man, I am barely keeping my head above water between stringing these sticks and my day job right now. I'm a remodeling consultant. I remodel homes by day. I work a lot. I love my job, but this is, I started this for you guys, and this isn't going anywhere anytime soon. As a matter of fact, it is blowing up faster than I could keep a lid on it. So website's coming soon. Trying my best to keep up with everything, but soon, man, I'm trying. Once I get a minute, I'll try to do something. All right.
All right. I love it. Olivia asked an interesting question. So I don't know if you're comfortable giving it's about price. I don't know if you're comfortable giving your prices, or if not, that's fine. But if she's a new parent, what price range should she be looking at to know, oh, I'm not getting ripped off by a stringer?
Yeah, no problem. So I'll be totally straightforward, totally transparent with you guys. Guys, I charge $25 for mesh, most like what you'll see in stores. All right. There's no taxes on that. I charge $10 for sidewalls and shooters included, no matter what color, what you want. And then for the labor of the stick, guys, I charge $30. Okay. Takes me about 30, 45 minutes, sometimes a little longer to do this. And at the end of the day, man, there's so many hours in a day. Like I said, I got another job. I got to make sure this isn't taken away from the rest of my life. But totally straightforward, guys. $65 covers everything. You just pay for the return shipping. That's it. I think that's a fair price, man. I'm not here to make $1 million off this. I got into this to just put quality string jobs in, your guys' hands. That's it. So that's totally transparent.
That's
just cover the shipping, $65. Covers
yeah, that's a great price. And then they send you the head.
That's it. Yeah. Guys, if you need me to get a head, if you absolutely can't order one to me, I always have Venmo. I have Zelle. If you need me to do that, I could absolutely do that. I always prefer, if you're going to send a head, though, you order it and just put your name somewhere on the invoice.
There we go. Man, I feel like we've answered tons of questions. We still have 54 open questions. So if you see any questions, we want to make sure that we get answered. You got to upvote them, because I'm just going with the number of upvotes that we like, or that we have. Michael says, what affects the ball coming out of the stick while cradling, and how do you prevent it?
The channel will help that. The channel will definitely help that. The tighter the channel you have, the more ball control. If you look at Kyle Bernauer stick, the guy on the whips, got a tight channel in there. Very good ball control. Guys like, the old school guys like, I don't want to say old school, everyone's feeling, but like Brett Queener used to always have a bag and a tight channel, great ball control. That guy was a gazelle going up and down the field, scored goals, had assists all the time in the pros too, and at Albany. The channel will help you guys out, man. If you have a soup bowl in there and there's no channel in the stick, it's going to be rattling around all the time.
Yep. The channel. Awesome. Jason, what is your favorite setup for younger goalies?
My favorite setup, if you're a pro, if you're a 10-year, 20-year pro, or if you're just starting up, Eclipse 2, man. Eclipse 2 at Mesh Dynasty all the way, or some kind of quality mesh, or, a Warrior Nemesis. Nike's putting out a good head right now too, with the new Elite head that they have. Those are my go-tos. Everyone's always asking, hey, I'm just starting out. Can I save a few bucks here? Guys, the difference between heads is like 15, 20, sometimes $25. Just invest in a good head. You watch your game get better way faster. If you want to start out middle school with a goal master and a crappy string job, it's going to suck. You start out with a good, quality stick like a Warrior Nemesis or an STX Eclipse with some good mesh in there. You're going to see yourself get better way faster and enjoy the game way better.
Love it. Yep. Great point. Max says Eclipse 1 or Eclipse 2.
Oh, come on, man. Second generation. You're getting the iPhone like 8 or you're getting the iPhone 11. Yeah. Come on now, baby.
Who prefers the iPhone 4 to the iPhone 11? Oh, I love it. Let's see. Did we answer this one? What's your favorite goalie head? I think you might have touched on it.
STX Eclipse 2. Definitely.
Boom. There you go. Do you know any place I can learn how to string a stick, says Magnus?
Go to Google, type in stringing tutorial.
Yeah. I
wish I had time to do things like that.
Yeah. There's a couple in my academy. Maybe I'll throw a few on YouTube. I don't know if I have any on YouTube, but yeah, there's tutorials on YouTube. So you can check that out. Sean again says, what easy changes or tweaks can you make on your current head to change its performance? Like better outlets, softer rebounds?
All right. It's a good question. So the sidewalls and stuff you normally see over time, if you could pull them, man, and they're not snapping like a G chord on a guitar, there's probably something wrong. It's probably bagging out. If you could just kind of readjust the sidewall all the way down, retighten up everything a little bit, especially towards the top. Maybe you can go a little looser towards the bottom. It all depends kind of the pattern that was used. But normally what you see is over time is those sidewalls starting to loosen up. That's why tension is key for me, man. I don't want to put out a stick that 3 months down the road is yo, it's a bag, it's hooking, got to have tension. So if it bags out, fix up those sidewalls.
Boom. I think we covered this one. Can I buy a complete stick from you, or do we just send it to you for restringing?
I prefer stringing it up. I prefer you sending it to me with some notes in there and stuff like that. Hey, if you absolutely need me to go out and get it, there's plenty of cases I do that. All I do is I ask you to Venmo me ahead of time or sell me ahead of time in good faith, and I'll get that thing out to you as soon as I can.
Yeah. Or they can order one from a vendor.
That's the best, man. That's the best. Order it straight from the site, straight to my address. Just put your name on the invoice.
And ship it out to you.
Yeah, or else I'm trying to track it down, and then it's like, hey, where's my head? And I'm like, whose friggin' head is this?
All right. Does Tommy test each stick after stringing, or does he rely on experience to know the stick is perfect?
It's a really good question, man. So I bought a bounce back when I first started stringing. Anything that left my hand, I wouldn't use it unless I would, I'm not putting it out unless I wouldn't use it. And unless I would use it. So yeah, I used to do that all the time, but I will be honest with you, man, I could literally run my hand through a pocket and know exactly how it's going to throw and how it's going to throw in 6 months down the line. It's crazy to say that. I know I'm not trying to toot my own horn here. 90% of the time, man, I do the ball chest in the house. If it's kicking back to me, I know there's a little too much whip. I got to change up those shooters. Maybe the channel is too tight. But man, I'm crazy. I'm my worst own critic. You know, a stick that sometimes should take me 30 minutes, but might take me 3 hours until I'm totally confident that I'm going to get, a great response back from that person.
Love it. Devin says, is 12 diamond mesh the best, or is 17 and 20 good too?
Oof, if you can get your hands on good 20, send me that link. God, I love that stuff. I grew up playing with 20 diamond, but tough to find, especially quality stuff. It's all how you string. It's all how you string it. 17 diamond will give you a little bit more structural integrity to the mesh, always allow for a smoother release if properly strung. We always got to remember that key factor. That stuff bags out easily if not done the right way. But 12 diamond, man, 12 diamond all the way. I think it's the best stuff. Allows for a good range of mixture ratio between rebound control, lightness. There's not as much mesh if you think about it. You get 17 diamond wet in a rain game, that stick is literally twice as heavy. All right. Yeah, I'm even getting into 10 diamond now. I think Mesh Dynasty and Jimalax, they put out a pretty good 10 diamond. You got to be really good with the tension on that though. But hey, man, less mesh is always less weight.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's kind of why you see the 12 diamond dominate these days, because that's, that there's a lot of no companies have invested a lot in the 10 diamond. That's pretty new. But the 17, the 20, more mesh, more weight, more wind resistance, if it's a windy day too. All right. Rochelle says, my 12-year-old insists on ECD 12 diamond original wax mesh for his heads, and ECD no longer makes this. Any other super waxy mesh you'd recommend?
Well, you gotta ask yourself that first question is, why don't they make this anymore? It's not the highest quality stuff. It was just like we said before, is their first go at things kind of. And as you can see, the product they put out now is way better. And they even got something newer coming out real soon that I think might solve your problem, actually. So, a little spoiler here. Yeah, they do have a product coming out that you will be able to string into your stick for goalies. It's a pretty cool mesh. Tested it out actually last month. And I think it's going to solve that problem for you. So hopefully they're dropping that stuff real soon. It's a nice little hybrid type of mesh. The problem with wax is it comes off over time. All right. It was made for East Coast guys who are going through a lot of different weather elements throughout the season. You start out playing with the snow on the ground, then there's rain, and it's spring. So the stick goes through a lot of different elements. So they thought wax might help out with that. But to me, man, I feel like it really grips the ball. It allows for a lot of unnecessary whip. I wasn't always the biggest fan. But hey, if that's what you like, that's your preference. Good luck finding it, man.
Yeah. Man, tons of 55 questions we still have open. Here's a good one from Dan Weiss. How backed up on stringing jobs are you? Like how long should I expect to wait if I send you ahead?
So yeah, my wait time just increased. Probably 8 months ago it was 2 to 4 days. Probably 2 months ago it was 4 to 5. I'm probably right now around a week. That's me stringing up probably 4 to 7 of them a day, and getting them out. So right now I've got about 30 heads on deck as we speak. And as soon as this conference is over, these hands are getting ripped apart. We're going to get to these all day. I actually took the whole day off from work for my day job to make sure I get to at least 15 to 20 of them. So those are all going out. Thank you guys for being patient too. The lead time right now, guys, probably about 7 to 8 days. Of course you can't ship on Sundays, so that always helps. It's always tough. And it's really sometimes tough for me to get there on Saturday. I usually try to do it on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays.
All right. So get those orders in. You got a son or a daughter's birthday coming up. I mean, heck, Christmas is only in 6 months. Get those orders in, baby.
I will say, you guys, man, my whole customer base is very good about getting it in. They don't, every once in a while, there's a guy who's like, hey, listen, I need this done. And you know what I'll do is I'll reach out to my other guys and I'll say, can you give me an extra day on this? And if everything lines up and it's okay, I will expedite that order, guys. I am here for the customer base, and I have very understanding customers that are usually like, hey, yeah, it's okay. It's all right. I sent it to you a little early. So very good on you guys. I appreciate all the proactiveness. It always really helps me. And of course, I appreciate the extra patience sometimes.
Yeah, I got a question. I don't know if anyone's asked it. This is more for me. You know, let's say I'm a brand new dad, my kid's just starting out, you know, I don't want to spend, by the way, your price is amazing. That's awesome. I can't believe like you can get a professional level strung wand for that price. But let's say I don't want to spend $100, right? I don't know if he's going to play year 2. I don't know if I don't want to go all in just yet. How can I get ahead? Or if I go on a site like Sideline Swap, which I love, what am I looking for to make sure that like that's a good head?
Tough to say, man. It's tough to say unless you could really feel it in your hands. You're always taking someone else's discretion on that one. But I will say the lacrosse community is pretty tight knit, usually filled with some pretty good people. I can't really give you a good answer on that. I know what's tried and true. I use what's tried and true, man. If I'm looking to go start myself out, get myself a good head, I'm going to get that Eclipse 2. I'm going to get that Nemesis. There are cheaper options. You can go with the the Goal Masters that sometimes come with some type of mesh in there. And what I'll say is, hey, go buy that. And I hope I don't get a bunch of people asking for a discount here, but I'll always work with you guys. At the end of the day, I'm always going to work with you. I have a local guy over here in Seaford who's been texting me for the past week and a half. He's selling his attack sticks. He's like putting money together. And I was just like, hey, listen, man, tell me how much you're going to spend on this. I'll do it for X amount. Okay. You know, why do you want to scrimp and scramp to go buy yourself a second-rate head, second-rate string? You just could have had a little $20, $30 break in there, you know, to help you out, to really get you to where you need to be. So, I hope I didn't just put a discount sticker on my head right there, but guys, I'll always help you out.
You're the best, my man. And you mentioned it at the beginning that if you put a crappy head in the hands of a first-year goalie and he can't throw, right? He's just not going to have fun. He's not going to enjoy the position, and you're sort of sabotaging his ability to have success in this position. So why not get him a Mr. Wanderful head? And you know what? Not that it's a money-making thing, but if he doesn't play goalie year 2 and you got a Mr. Wanderful head, I think those things are going to keep their value. You know, you can sell that to somebody else. There you go. Let's do it, man. Let's do the giveaway. Before we do, can you show that head one more time? And we're going to go all full. Well, let me stop talking so you show up, but give
I just throw a little gold nylon up there that's kind of tied all together. I'm going to clip these strings and everything. I'm going to break it in a little bit, make sure it's really good to go. But here we go, man. It's the golden boy. We did some navy blue right there up the side. We did some red on the bottom, on the right. And we got some white for the top right there with that little gold accent for the nylon. And then my little bottom string design right there. It's pretty cool, guys. Shout out to my man Larry for helping help make this happen. Let's go, man. Let's give this bad boy away.
Yeah, all right. Who is pumped up to win this head? Throw it in the chat. Here is the rules. Obviously, Tommy and I cannot win, but everyone else is pretty much available. Hold on. Let me bring up the wheel of names. The wheel of names. You do have to be here, okay? You do have to be here. That is the rule. So everyone get the chat open, because once I call out your name, you've got 30 seconds. I'm going to bring up my phone just to put you on the clock. And if you're not here and your name is called and you don't say, me, I'm here, we'll draw again. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Get rid of this. Tommy, can you see the wheel of names right here?
Oh, the wheel. Hold on. I can't see the wheel. Hold on. I see the wheel now. There's a lot.
See the wheel of names. Here we go. Click to spin. We're spinning. All right, everyone get ready on the chat. I'm going to get the stopwatch. Stop. Reset it. Who's it going to be? Kurt Van Noord. You are on the clock. Kurt, my man, are you here?
Big Kurt.
Kurt is here. Boom. Kurt is a winner.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Kurt. Cool. We'll get you in contact, or if you want to reach out to Tommy. I know last time you kind of adjusted it for the winner. I forget who won last time. But I know you adjusted it for him. So yeah, reach out and he'll get you that head. Let's do the drawing for the Lax Shield. We got 2 Lax Shields that we're giving away.
Cool. Congratulations, Kurt.
Kurt.
Inbox me. If I don't answer, email me.
There you go. Jennifer, are you here? While we're doing that, we're looking for Jennifer. Jennifer is here, so she wins a Lax Shield. Congratulations, Jennifer. And the final Lax Shield is Derek. Derek, are you here? Kurt wants to know how to get in contact with you. Kurt, DM on Instagram. Max, if you want to drop the Instagram into the chat one more time. Derek is here, so he is the second winner. Tommy, AKA Mr. Wanderful, AKA Channels So Clean, you need sunglasses to look at them. We could go on and on, but thank you so much for participating in this. And this was your idea. I know I kind of, we're gonna do a goalie summit without the Wanderful, and he said that cannot be. This just cannot be. So thank you so much.
I'm here for the people. I'm here for the people.
All right. Show some love to Tommy in the chat if you could. Reach out, guys. If you need a wand strung, Instagram, DM on Instagram is the place to go. Tommy, we'll see you. Take care.
Thank you, guys.
See ya.